Let's kick things off with the series premiere of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This is the second TV series in the Phase 4, well, I was going to say chapter, but yeah, fourth phase basically of the MCU, right? This is going to be a 6-episode limited series, and it's somewhat kind of, well, like I say, this is the second show that we've gotten this year, the last one being WandaVision, which I assume all of us saw and pretty much enjoyed, right? For the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, yes.
Yep.
Right. Well, this one here, just like with WandaVision, takes two characters who have been, technically secondary characters. That would be the Falcon, played by Anthony Mackie. Played by Anthony Mackie, and the Winter Soldier, played by Sebastian Stan, right? And giving them their own show, right? As Bucky Barnes and Sam Wilson, right? So I'll just run through briefly what this episode here is about, and just my quick thoughts on it, and then you guys just follow through, right? So this story pretty much is set after 6 months, you say, after the blip, right? This is when the half of all life meaning the universe was returned, right? And we introduced Sam Wilson, aka Falcon. He's working for the US Force now. He's trying to bring down this terrorist, and we get this really, really dope, awesome action kick-ass scene involving him just flying up, taking down these terrorists. Flying through helicopters and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they bring back Batroc from Winter Soldier. The beginning of Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really do like the fact that they brought back, characters that you just kind of forgot from the older films, basically. Now.
I love it.
So while all this is going on, we see his sort of dilemma going forward in terms of, all right, well, Captain America is no more. It's not like he's dead or anything. That he just pretty much hung up his his shield basically. So so to speak.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So now basically the question is, who's going to be the next Captain America, right? And we see War Machine himself, Don Cheadle, show up and kind of suggest to Sam, hey, maybe it could be you. You know what I mean? But in the meantime,
he kind of rejected the call, Sam, because in the end of Endgame, he straight up tell him, no, you should take this. It's yours.
Yeah.
And he just kind of reject the call and say, look, it's still not mine. He's still kind of really hesitant about the whole thing. So they have this opening sequence with him in the museum. He just give it to the government back now. Like, okay.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool how that plays out, right?
Yeah.
In between time now, we have Bucky Barnes now, who he was pardoned recently now, and it's introduced with him going through like therapy, right? Because as you know, he was an assassin, and he was responsible for a series of this high profile murders, as well as say assassinations over the years, basically, right? One in particular haunts him, right? And it's really I love how the show does this, right? It shows him more or less befriending this Asian guy, and it's like, well,
I think what haunts him about this one is that the person he killed wasn't his target. It was just
aside.
Right.
Listen, that old man. If you think Sam is a good wingman, that old man is a real good wingman.
I know, right? I boy.
It was that old man. I was in college. Like, my God.
And essentially what it is just, Bucky, because as you know, he was born like way back when, right? It's not just so much him adjusting to life after the blip. It's him kind of like adjusting to life outside of just being the Winter Soldier, right? So you don't really see him do anything in real time, like in modern time, right? You do see a really cool flashback and whatnot, right? But in that, it's just him trying to get in, just trying to live his life, but at the same time, he's still haunted by these demons, all these.
You don't have Cap with him too. Like he just
that's right.
I like these similarities there in that he has the same struggles because he's a man out of time, but he's also a man dealing with a ton of guilt on top of that. So it's a whole extra layer there when it comes to Bucky.
That's right.
He's a very fractured soul.
Yeah, he is a very fractured soul. So just to finish up the story here. In terms of the potential threat. We have this terrorist group called the Flag Smashers. At first, I was like, all right, Flag Smashers, okay, kind of a weird name, but I guess it's from the comics, but I'm not really familiar with those guys, right?
Well, it's a guy. There's a guy called the Flag Smasher, so they kind of split them up into a group kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you. Right, and well, basically, it's kind of getting roped into trying to bring these guys down, right? Whilst he's trying to handle a little situation with his sister, who's trying to get this business off the ground and whatnot. And it ends, well, don't want to spoil too much now, basically, with the question of who will be the new Captain America being answered. And in a nice shot where it's like, okay.
One question. That dude could fly with those ears, right? He has to be able to fly with those ears.
Did he walk into a lamppost to his face?
I saw somebody online saying that is not America's ass, and I was like, yes, that is accurate.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah. So I'll just kind of share my quick thoughts on the episode, right, on the series premiere. I totally dug it, right? I know for some people they'll kind of probably be a little disappointed that it didn't give them enough action and whatnot. Like the opening sequence with Falcon is spectacular, though, and it's like, oh my god, it is so incredibly cinematic. Like the show as a whole is very well polished. You could swear, like, you know, it's one of those shows that feels like you're watching a movie. But that sequence in particular was just badass. It took me back to, you know, that dog fight from Independence Day. You know what I mean? Yes, is a weird reference, but oh gosh, look at that.
Yeah, it was
right.
But how I see it, it was like a mix between the Iron Man 3 skydiving sequence and then the opening sequence in Winter Soldier. Like it's a mix of that. It had that same vibe to it because and it's Batroc again, right? So it mixed it up. But I was really impressed with this action sequence, though.
Yeah,
it
was
good.
really, really good, though. What I really dug as well is was how the story is grounded in realism, but you know, in MCU realism now, in terms of where the characters are right now, it feels very plausible, very believable. Now you get where Sam's coming from, where, you know, and where he's just basically, he wants to be, you know, the hero, but at the same time he knows that, you know, because of the 5 years now, he wasn't there to take care of his sister. So now I really love the effort that he takes to try to get his sister's business off the ground. There's a great moment with him at a bank, and this guy talking about the guy at the bank basically talking about, well, how you guys make money, you know? It's one of those things you don't really think about now, but it's like, you know, actually that's true, though. You know what I mean? That everybody's a millionaire, like a Tony Stark or whatnot.
Was kind of weird because I thought, you know, at least Pepper would have given him a little something now. It's like, a little something. Just like, just try to just get him a little 50,000. Like Tony had the money, Tony dead, but you know, Pepper still had the money now. Go on, man.
But it didn't I mean, like, just to go all the way back to, what was it, Age of Ultron, when Tony was saying, you know, he's the one in charge, talking about Captain, he's the one in charge, I just pay the bills. So I assume that there was a trust fund or something set aside for each one of them too.
I think it's just like with Batman and the Justice League, where we just kind of assume Bruce pays for everything and everybody else. Barry has a good job, but you know, we just kind of assume Bruce does all the heavy lifting. Right. And the same thing with Tony, but with the bank scene, just not cutting you off, Matthew, but what I also like, as you said, grounded in realism, I love the fact that seems so real to me that, you know, a banking institution would do something as effed up as say, well, all these people coming back, so we instantly take away their ability to get certain things done, you know, to support them. That really hit home in reality, and you know.
That's how it is in real life.
That's what's going on right now. I mean, it's very messed up.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
It kind of mirrors the pandemic.
It does. Yeah, it is very much like pandemic inspired, especially with the sister.
Yes, it is.
Having to switch professions, basically. You know what I mean? Right. From the fishing to actually like selling food and all that kind of stuff. I really dug that. Right. Mm-hmm. And I really like the attention put into just fleshing out the world, fleshing out the characters as well. Once again, I know for some people they might just go in expecting tons of action, especially with its roughly 47-minute runtime. But I just dug the quiet moments, the character building, all that kind of stuff. As far as like the threat of the Flag Smashers, we get a couple of convincing moments as well. So, you know, it kind of leaves it open as to what to expect next. And in terms of Bucky, I do like the moments where like just basically him being burned and tortured by his the murders that he did in past.
Yeah.
As far as just minor gripes, like I felt like with the oh gosh the psychiatrist scene, basically there's like a lot of like close-ups, like a little too much, a little cut and back,
Oh
a little too
yeah.
much. Yeah, I
Yeah.
felt like could have just for a while just zoom out. Let's see Bucky's face. Let's see the psychiatrist's face. Like not everything just had to be eyes and forehead, man. It was just a little too much of cutting back with that, right? But
Yeah,
I
the
really
angle was
dug the
awkward.
dialogue in that moment in particular, especially from the psychiatrist. I
Yeah.
know from what we saw from the trailer, you're gonna see more of her. But I just really like where they take Bucky's character, and especially in terms of him, getting hooked up now. You know what I mean? Getting trying his hand at dating and stuff like that. So that's really really nice moments there. But overall, I really like how this episode takes its time. It's not jumping headfirst into the big threat and whatnot. It's just setting up the world, letting us know where the characters are right now in the moment, and then with the next few episodes, you just slowly build and build and build. I have a feeling like the last couple episodes is just gonna be, or maybe the last episode itself, just gonna be just kick ass from start to end. But other than that, yeah, really really great way to kick off this series here. Alice, quick thoughts on the series premiere of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Well, to begin with, Anthony Mackie is not really one of my favorite actors because I wrote a review recently on another movie that he acted in where he's kind of
Oh,
one note to
Outside the
me.
Wire, was it?
No, Synchronic.
Oh, which I didn't see, but Ricardo, you saw that.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
and it
did
was
too.
very mediocre.
It's very
Yeah,
mediocre, yeah.
yeah. And the thing about it is, him for me, I just don't find that as an actor he really does it for me. But for some reason, he as Falcon, I don't have an issue with that. He seems to really love that role and seems to put a bit more of himself into that role for
Uh-huh.
some reason.
Yeah, money.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Marvel money.
Yeah, that money. That Marvel checks.
Yeah.
True. I agree with you, Matt, where the opening sequence, the action sequence, it really did take my breath away. I especially liked Red Wing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Cute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, he's very, very cute. Um, Sebastian Stan, well, in the whole MC universe, the two characters that my heart really breaks for is Captain America and Winter Soldier because of what those characters have been through. Especially Winter Soldier because he was basically tortured. His mind was torn apart so many times by Hydra.
Mhm.
Um, and that's why I say he really is a kind of a fractured soul kind of character, you know? So that's what makes it interesting in terms of seeing him struggle with that side of his humanity and the guilt that he feels from when he was an assassin. And
Yeah.
him trying to, like I said, he's a 100 and something year old man trying to fit in with our society, and it's awkward. There's a lot for him to deal with. So, yeah, I really dug the first episode, and I didn't find it was too slow because you can't just go in with guns blazing with these kind of characters. They need to have layers and dimensions for us to feel for them. So I enjoyed it.
All right. Tracy, quick thoughts on the series premiere.
So here's the thing. I already came in with a bit of a bias because after WandaVision, I was like, what I need in my life is more of this madness. I want more madness. I want more magic. Basically,
Right.
give me Loki.
Right.
So,
Right.
so
Loki's coming in June.
yeah,
Relax.
Yeah.
that's a whole 2 months, 3 months away. I'm like, nah, I don't really, please, no. So for me, it was like I was already walking in. June 11th, I think it's coming up. I was already walking in with that. I liked the pacing of it. I liked the feel of it. I liked the vibe of it. But I have to tell you, from a personal perspective, the strength that Marvel has in terms of being grounded in real things, as in so like real situations and that kind of stuff. For me, I wasn't too sure like I needed it right now with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So like there's a couple scenes that we won't go into because non-spoiler. But like the idea of like certain race relations and certain missed opportunities and stuff like that, that is something that happens in the real world. But I looked at it and I was like, I don't know if I need to see this. I'm already getting angry. I'm getting angry with the bank. I'm getting angry with the government. I'm getting angry in general. I don't know if I need this. That being said, the actual cinematography for the film, I really dig the psychiatrist. I feel she is snarky and hilarious. She sort of reminds me of, I think it's Ally McBeal's a psychiatrist who was Tracy Ullman's character. That same snark. So I kind of like that sensibility.
Throwback.
Tracy Ullman for the word. I will tell you though, when you talked about the Independence Day, I legitimately sat down there laughing. It's like they recycled the same canyon. Yeah. Because how many that's the same canyon that they have. I suppose they have it in stock, obviously, from Independence. At least that's how it feels to me. From Independence Day, so I was like that. What I will say that I quite like is how Red Skull ended up, and because he's not in here right now, obviously, but Red Skull in a weird way sort of became a prophet, because he's saying, I see a future. When he spoke to Captain America, the first one, he's like, I've seen the future and there are no flags. And now you have an entire organization that rose up out of the blip who's like, we're not here for nationalism, there are no flags, we're going to just remake the world. So he almost became a slightly bit prophetic in my eyes. But all in all, I like it. I'm not completely over the moon, and I accept my own biases about it, but I will continue to watch it, and I suspect that maybe on a second or third viewing, and by, I don't know, episode 3, I'll probably be diving into the waters like a Mad Hatter. But it's good. It's solid. It's good. It's a good start to the series.
Yeah.
All right, Ricardo, quick thoughts on the series premiere.
Well, to borrow from your Red Skull line, that might be more pressure than I think, because there's a character who I think is closer to him than you think. I think so. That's just pure speculation, fan speculation stuff for now. But yeah, this was, as I say, action and all of the weird goofy stuff for the MCU, the human grounded stuff really actually worked for me. The sister, she's from a film that I remember liking a few years back. That was Pariah, if you remember that film. I don't know if anyone knows.
She was in that. Wow, okay.
Yeah, she was in that. And so I was glad to see her. I didn't know she was in this at all. I was like, oh, that's not take that girl from that thing. And I'm like, oh, great. And she playing a great character. And yeah, Sam is an uncle. He's an Uncle Sam, if you will.
I love that moment when they say, Uncle Sam. That was clever. That was clever.
They do just a lot of just great little human stuff. The stuff with Bucky is fantastic. Because the payoff for the old man is great. I thought the old man was like some old war buddy.
I thought so too.
At first,
that is where I was at.
Yeah, that they reveal the thing, like, oh shit, that they drop it out episode 1 by word.
Yeah. I actually picked up on it. Well, sorry to cut to the record, but I actually picked up on it from the moment where he mentions his son, and there's a moment where
from that, yes, but
that I was like, oh, okay.
People were dying.
When you mentioned the kid, I was like, oh shit, it's him instead. When you met him, when you meet him in the street, I was like, oh, who's this guy? Whatever. But it was like a great little relationship. I like what they're doing with that. That's interesting, and I really want them to just what they're gonna do with Bucky going forward. He's actually the more interesting figure going forward in this for me.
Agreed.
But with Sam, they're making him the lead role, and they're making him the whole being trusted to greatness narrative, which I really like. And it has so much great Captain America storylines they could do with this. Like I don't know where they're going with it. I really want them to come hard, because look, with the pandemic and the nature of again, what Marvel does really well is appealing to the zeitgeist. WandaVision was basically just like, dealing with grief through classic television. Like that's what our audience is actually doing. Let's do something like that. Something like that, right? But this now is like, okay, how to deal with the side effects of the economics and whatnot, and they're making that work. And yeah, they're just actually nailing it in that working context for me. I really, really enjoyed this. That open and action sequence is really hold me. Like I saw it in the trailer, I didn't know it would have been that awesome in the final version. And yeah, I'm just gonna straight up say this was a palate cleanser to that Snyder cut, to be frank. So my attitude was like, yeah, I real glad this coming out. And I'm gonna mention something about the Snyder cut because involving this, because it's something I thought was a big misstep on the part of WB there. But we mentioned that when that comes up. I really enjoyed this as a solid premiere for me. I really hope it goes in the direction I want it to go. There's a couple of ideas on where I think it might be going. But yeah, as it is, really liked it. Loved it. Great premiere.
All right. Cece, quick thoughts on the series premiere.
So one of the things I've really appreciated about the shows, like when Kevin Feige was announced to be in charge of all of Marvel, so he was also in charge of the shows, and so he was basically also in charge of the shows. I kind of wondered like how it was going to be different. Like, I mean, if he was in charge, and then of course he gets into that role, and then we announce all the different upcoming Marvel shows, right? And I'm like, okay, how are we going to make how are we going to separate the films from the shows going forward now? And what I appreciate about the shows, and what I kind of realized WandaVision was doing as I was watching it, and then what I noticed right off the bat with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, is the shows really allow for a slower pace of storytelling than the films do. Like, the films are really great. The films, I mean, I think they average like 2 hours. But what I like about it is you almost can see like a whiteboard of, here are all the stories we want to do. Which ones do we need to take a long time and like develop and like flesh out and like give these characters room to breathe? Those go in the miniseries, and then ones that are a little on the shorter side that we can get what we want to say in a shorter time move over to the films. So what I appreciate about this was that like I actually appreciated that there wasn't a lot of action. Like, I don't know if people were going in expecting it to be wall-to-wall action, but like one opening scene to kind of like, get our adrenaline going, and then the rest is character stuff. And the rest of the show, the rest of this premiere is character stuff, and it's all very important character stuff. Like, I was sitting here as a writer, like I'm sitting here like in my head noting all the little pieces of setup that are going on throughout this whole thing. There's a couple of them that I'm like, I know that's going to come back later, but I don't know how just yet, and that intrigues me. I mean, also part of that is me kind of losing a bit of a taste for fan speculation after the bizarreness that happened with like all the fan theories about WandaVision.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate that, like, because it feels like it's using the format of the miniseries, because this is what this is. This is a miniseries. It's using it in its in its best way. Like, it's like doing something with this that we can't do with the films, which is to do a slower, more character-based story with more like action set pieces. Like, I definitely feel like the show is gonna kind of go move forward with this setup, where like most of the show is the drama and the dialogue and characters and character interactions, especially since they're kind of setting up and leaning on a kind of a Lethal Weapon type dynamic between the two of them, where you have two characters, like one with a very domestic story and one with a lot of personal trauma, and moving forward with that. But like a lot of drama, a lot of character moments, and then these action set pieces somewhere in the episode, but most of it is like this kind of character stuff. And I love this kind of character stuff, so I really appreciate that. I have no idea where they're going with like the character that Wyatt Russell plays. Yeah, I'm curious about that, especially with the early responses. Like, I feel like they could either go to. I feel like there's a very big potential we have another Mandarin situation on our hands, and I'm wondering how I feel about that in advance, just in case they go in that direction.
But I'm a big comic nerd, so I think I know exactly where they're going with him. Knowing the character, what he's supposed to be.
Like, I think I know that character he's supposed to be too, but I don't know if they're going to do him like he is in the comics, or if they're going to go in a Mandarin direction, is what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm very intrigued to go, because like I'm not upset either way. Like, either way is like either way would be very entertaining. But I love the drama. I love the setups. I love these characters are very well. It's so nice to see characters that have been so thoroughly set up that now we can just do things with them. Like this isn't like we're not doing any origin story stuff. Like, they're set up. Everyone knows who they are. We're assuming everyone knows who they are. We're moving forward. No, I'm very excited. I'm very excited for this. Like, I can't wait to see where this goes forward from here. And I love what they're doing with utilizing the miniseries format in its like to its fullest potential. Kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Last but not least, some of your quick thoughts on the series premiere.
Well, I stand with you guys in loving that opening scene. It definitely pulled your attention immediately, and you didn't want to look away. You wanted to know what was coming next. It was so cinematic. As for I'm kind of with Alicia with the Anthony Mackie thing. I've said it before. I think he works best when he works with a team, not when he's carrying things solo. So I'm glad it's Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Right.
That said, I do love what the potential of what they could do with this character because, as Ricardo being a comic book fan as well, he would know that when Falcon carried the shield, there was so much good social stuff they commented on there, and so much they could do with that. As you know,
it have a story it have a Captain America story. I really hope they do, or at least touch upon. But I want to see if they, I don't know if they'll do it.
Is it from the run of when Falcon became Captain America? Is it that?
No, actually.
No,
but
okay.
It's something that could come in given the context of this character.
Right.
But I hope they do it. I heard a character might be in this. I heard little rumors about a certain character. I don't want to spoil it because it's so goddamn amazing. It's a great story. Anyway, yeah.
I feel so thoroughly tantalized now.
I know.
And of course, Captain America: Winter Soldier is still my absolute favorite Marvel movie. And anything that brings that feeling to the forefront, I'm excited for, and I'm getting that feeling here. So, the Bucky stuff is definitely the stuff I'm pulling to more right now. But I'm sure they're gonna give us meaty stuff on both sides of things. Cece, I like that you point out that lethal weapon thing because as you said it, then I saw it. I was like, oh my god, yes, it's so much those characters. The only thing for me is the opening scene was so cinematic and so adrenaline pumping that the pacing after that for me was just a little bit like I'm waiting for something else of that scope, and maybe that's just me expecting too much in the first episode. But overall, yeah, this is solid. I am with Tracy. I would always pick Magic first, so I'm more excited for Loki. But if they take this, if they treat this the same way they treated the whole Winter Soldier thing, I think that I'm gonna love this. I think I'm gonna enjoy this as well.
Yeah, I think originally, if it wasn't for the pandemic, we were supposed to get this first and then WandaVision and then Loki.
Right.
Like the magic stuff, it was gonna ramp up the craziness with it. I think that
really was the plan.
I'm always more attracted to the crazy characters, that's the thing. I've been a huge Scarlet Witch fan. Alicia knows this.
Yep.
Way before the movies, and so I'm always attracted to these broken characters. I think that's why the Bucky character is pulling me more. Yeah. I always find these are the characters that are so awesome. That's why I'm so pumped for Moon Knight, and I hope they do it right,
And Marvel.
Oh, sure.
No, Marvel, if you're listening, speaking of crazy characters, can we get that Eternals trailer already?
Yeah, oh my gosh.
You know what they're doing? Listen, they're waiting for close out. Listen, they're waiting for close out to get an Oscar. Then they're going to drop that shit. Just watch.
Yeah, close out for Best Director, please.
Yeah, for real.
Academy, please. I know. Yeah.
Nomadland for the win. Oh my god.
Nomadland for the win, boy.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, those are thoughts on the series premiere. As it's the series premiere, it doesn't make any sense really rating it, but we have 5 more episodes to go, so once the full season is wrapped up, then we could offer a full review and a rating, right? But in between time, check it out. It's no WandaVision. It's very much what you would expect from a show called a action show starring Falcon and Winter Soldier. So yeah, check it out, man. You'll have fun. Hey, this is Matthew Bailey, and I hope you've enjoyed this segment of the BS Beats and Bailey podcast. If you'd like to hear the full episode, hit up my link tree. On the other side of my head are 2 videos you can check out. Like this video if you like it, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell as well. Thanks for listening, and until the next one, take care. Peace.